Hi, my name is Teacher Ade. I teach English as a second language and as a first language. I have my first degree in English language, Bachelor of Arts and Education from Obafemi Awolowo University, Nigeria. Also, I have my TEFL certification and my TESOL certification, and all of these make me qualified to teach English as a second language and as a first language. I work with the Cambridge International Educational Examination as an examiner for the IGCSE First Language English. I have been teaching English as a first language to learners in Africa, in the United Kingdom, and in the United States of America. I prepare students for IELTS exam and the TOEFL exam, including the IGCSE Cambridge assessment, preparing students for English as a first language and English as a second language. Also, I work with individuals and schools in Asia and in the Middle East as an ESL teacher. I have taught several students in Saudi Arabia, in Syria and Lebanon, including India in Asia, helping them to confidently make use of English language in their daily conversations. Let's get started with the first question. What is my favorite thing about teaching? Well, I would say that interacting with students from different backgrounds, interacting with people from different social, religious, and ethnic backgrounds is amazing. It's fantastic to rub minds with students in and outside the classroom, to spread knowledge, to impart them with knowledge, and also to learn from them. Yes, of course, I learn from my students too. Well, I would say what is challenging about being a teacher is to spur interest in your learners. It is challenging to have to incorporate interest or to stimulate, to instigate interest in learners. However, over the years, I have found my way around this. What I do is I look for the things that interest my learners, what they love. I use individualized learning. I try to harness my teaching and activities with what they love and what they're interested in. And this has helped me a lot to spur interest and to instigate learning in my learners. What is challenging about learning a new language? I love this question. Over the years, I have come to understand that what is challenging about learning a new language is not having an immediate environment to practice the language. If you learn a lot of rules, grammatical rules and pronunciations and vocabulary within the classroom, and you don't have an environment out there to make use of the language, is going to be quite difficult. So I believe that not having an environment to practice what you've learned while learning a new language is a difficult thing. It's always helpful when you have an environment outside the classroom where you can practice everything you've learned about a language. All right, rolling back in time, I could remember the first mistake I made with one of my ESL students. It was my first contact with him, and he was nodding at everything I was saying. So I thought he understood what I was saying. I had taught a couple of minutes into the class before finding out he really didn't get what I was teaching all the while. So this made me to make use of spontaneous feedback in my teaching. So while teaching, I always ask my learners for feedback. I include them. I include them in my conversation in every activity in the classroom. So while teaching, I always make sure there is an opportunity for them to respond, for them to talk back, for them to answer a question or to contribute to one or two things that I'm teaching. My perspective about error correction in the classroom. This depends on the scholar's personality. If the scholar is shy and not confident enough, it won't be a good one to always correct the learner whenever they make mistakes, because this is going to make them withdraw and they wouldn't be expressive. It will be difficult for you to gain their trust to express themselves again. And if a learner is not expressing themselves in your English class, there is no way you can evaluate their progress. So what I look out for is I check the personality of the student. If the student is always less of a talkative, if the student is less confident of themselves, they are not always expressing, I don't correct them every time they make mistakes. So what I do is most times when they're talking and they make a mistake, I repeat what they say to say it correctly if they made a mistake saying them. So I repeat whatever they say, saying them correctly so they could learn from that, instead of actively pointing to the mistake, which would help the student not to think less of themselves and not to withdraw. What do I do if a student feels nervous or untalkative? This used to be a colossal problem when I started, but over the years I have learned to overcome this challenge. It is easy for me right now. So when I come in contact with a student that is less talkative and nervous, what I do is first to initiate active communication and friendship with them. So I look out for the things they love, the things I ask them what they love. It might be football, it might be movies, it might be anything, it might be traveling, it might be shopping. So I engage them in several conversations around what they love to do. I would say company culture is undebatable. It is something that keeps learners safe and keeps the teachers professional. It helps everything to run smoothly. Company culture is something I'm always open to work with, because that is the bedrock of efficiency and excellence in every organization. Concerning the things I would love to know about Craving English, number one, I would love to know if you provide teachers with all the resources they would have to teach with. That's one. And two, I would love to know the learning platforms that you work with. Is it Classing or Google Meet? Is it Zoom? Any of the teaching platforms that you work with, I would love to know that. And also, I would love to know about the remuneration, how much a teacher earns and how well a teacher could scale up in the management level or in the work hierarchy.